start with the importance of brainstorming in this session. That brainstorming is why matter more. Why that single page notes of PYQ answer writing is important for the each and every aspirant. Why that a systematic and structural thinking is required for answer writing. If you don't have the systematic and structural thinking and perspective, that will be created loophole in your preparation, right? My intention is that to make the strong, make the solid your preparation to the thinking and perspective development. When a structural approach comes in your answer delivery, that makes matter, right? As compared to level playing field with the senior aspirant, I suggest you please, whatever happening in 2026 prelims, keep aside this pen and start the preparing with that your mains portion, because without mains you will not change the game. Trust my words, even your hard work will not go up. Your hard work will be a rock in the next year. But what about the mains? If you create yourself panic, that will take a lot of time and you will waste the lot of time and end up with nothing. So start your mains preparation at this hour, and that make you solid in the mains, because we are the senior people providing you the time to time themes, that micro analysis, brainstorming, answer writing, PYQ notes, answer writing, the proper strategies, Sunday discussion, everything should be included in this initiative, and that's make you a proper UPSC aspirant, a proper officer. That is brainstorming thinking is required to accomplish such tasks. Okay, fine. So see, that is the 2022, that is impact from work from home and family relationship. That first step is answer writing to decode the proper question, understand the keywords, what is the examiner mindset is looking for you. That is most crucial. Suppose that you will decode this question, that explore and evaluate impact. That keyword is important. Work from home keyword is important, and relationship, a family relationship. That is, I break that keywords. That keyword suggests that के work from home के impact हमारे family system पे क्या है. Simple way, I decode the question within the 41 second and 40 second. That is the standard to decoding the question in exam hall within the 40 second. Within the 40 second, you must decode the question, right? That 40 second will be decide your destiny. Once you decode the question, you know the demand, then write. Okay, so brainstorming session generally happen through that single pages note. Single page note, how? I will explain. The first parameter is that your introduction. Your introduction will be decide your answer. So work from home and its impacts on a family. So what is the main crux? Main crux is that work from home and its impact from family relationship. So you must define how the work from home has been started since that COVID-19. That is, you should be defined in your answer. Okay, even you can define or giving the example of work from home and introduction. Introduction must be 30 to 40 keywords. That will be a standard margin. If you exceed that word limits, that will be go in a negative marking. Okay, so keep in mind your introduction should be within the 30 to 40 words only. It decides your length of answer. Suppose that the question asks for 150 words, or another question asks, same question asks for 250 words. So what is the variation in introduction keywords? If 150 words answer they ask, at least you write down 30 keywords in introduction. If 250 words answer they ask, or the question they ask, at least 30 to 40 keywords in introduction. That is the standard mark of your answer, right? So after introduction, defining the core issue, you must look up a linking para. What is the actual linking para? Linking para is the thing, connect your introduction as well as your body part, and it's look like a systematic answer. Many people miss that. Yes, this is that linking para habit I will develop through that brainstorming sessions. How your introduction should be connect with your body and your answer look like a systematic answer and one flow answer that look like for the examiner, and it is very understandable. Suppose that work from home and family impact question is there, and you want to write the linking para. That is, you must be provide that the statistics or data. That is most crucial, that linking your introduction to bodies that provide the data of work from home. How many women, how many men are involved in the work from home? That will be connect your introduction to body through that linking para, and that is most important part. Did you get this point? That is linking para is the crucial. Even you can write in sociology a linking para. After defining the keywords in the answer, you can supplement the author's book name or its work in your linking para. Suppose Karl Marx, Das Kapital, he wrote. You can link that. If the alienation question asks, you can wrote that Das Kapital or his work in your linking para. That's connect the alienation concept through your question and through your body, right? That is a simple example. In a society, if the woman question asks, that NCRB data must be included in your linking para. That gives the sense that your answer is connected through your introduction and body. That is your linking para plays the major role. Okay, so after writing the introduction and linking para, in the brainstorming session we will moving further the body part. What should be the right in body part? One thing should be clear in your mind, that is, don't write what you know, write what actually is the demand of questions. Many people attempt the 20 questions but they didn't get their results. What is the tragedy? What actually happened with them? Actually, they wrote according to their knowledge, not according to the demand of this exam or demand of the question. That create the big gap between you and examination success. So, whatever the demand of the question, that must be implemented in your answer. That is the most important demand, right? So, body part is that we will take the family and the cohesion first parameter, how it impact, that write down the positive impact as well as the negative impact, because work from home gives the positive as well as negative impact on a family relationship, as you know very well, because everyone suffers during that pandemic and everyone's looking for re-establishment of family system. Many people get the time, but the chaos happening in the family system, the relationship fluctuating in between that family system. Joint families also suffer, nuclear families also suffer, every pandemic having the consequences, right? So in the body part, you must write down the negative as well as the positive part, where establishment of relationship in that work from home, right? So you must give at least 3 points for each negative, 3 points for each positive, right? After accomplishing demand, as well, I write that key mental health and family well-being, that negative and positive of this point. Then gender and division of labor, that another dimension, how the gender and division of labor is impacted by this work from home and their family system. There are negative as well as positive point. This is dimension come, and actually the examiner is looking for this points from you. Then family and its cohesion, that positive point as well, negative point as well. That many families reported closer relation due to shared the meals and activities. As we know, this our cultural system, that we share the meals with each other and create the strong bonding. But what impacted of that work from home, even on the relationship, families struggle with the lack of separation between work and personal life. That is create the gulf between the personal life and their work, because if they are at home, the family must demand to dedicate some time for their personal activities, but they are struggling with the separation between work and personal life. This is brainstorm. Now next point is that conclusion, right? Throughout the conclusion here, even fourth point, even I write here in the positive and negative approach of this question, that is the intergenerational relationship, right? That conclusion, after this writing this point, completing the demand, that conclusion part is most important. Your conclusion decides your answer orientations and how much you stronger write about the demand, that your conclusion is defined, right? So the work from home family relationship is the complex and varies. It strengthens the bond and offer the greater flexibility. Even some families make the strong bond, some families lose the bond, and some families provide the greater flexibility to understand each one emotions. That is the basic features of our society, family system, kinship, marriage. That institutions will establish the landscape of society. So in this way, that one page brainstorm we will provide you, and we guide you through that what points are actually needed to write the proper answer. This is the raw points. This is the notes of each and new PYQ for the last 10 years. We will provide on the daily basis with the PYQs, and even we provide the PYQ answers. from our side. Our team is making that on daily basis. Same kind of brainstorming will also provide along with that model answers, and even provide you the assignments. How do the brainstorm? If the question, the contemporary topic were news, that is work from home 2020 question, but if in the 2026 the question asked on the gig workers, right? There is a lot of chaos, a lot of social security issues of gig workers, and recently in the news, you daily basis you guys are reading the newspaper that shows that gig worker also suffering. Even many politicians, many NGOs, and many eminent intellectual raise this issue. What about the gig workers, that informal workers? They don't have the proper social security, they don't have the proper formal establishment, they are lacking, and you know that unemployment on a highest peak present days. So this question will be asked in 2026. How will be going to be addressed? Okay, I will show you a demo on the gig workers. Okay, suppose that the question asked on the gig worker in 2026 mains in the society portion. What actually the theme? This is the theme: family, and that informal worker and woman. This is the theme. Every year there will be question. Trust me, this is the theme we decoded. If you see the question from past 10 years, you will find at least one question dedicated to the vulnerable section. That is woman, SC/ST, informal workers. That's all. Okay. Suppose that question asked on a gig worker in 2026, what kind of the question will become? If you read the newspaper carefully, you will find that there is a pattern and where some NGOs, some eminent intellectual raises the voice, and that is most important for healthy democracy, and that will lead to establishment of the formal organization and their address their grievances and redressal. So gig worker question may be expected that the UPSC will ask gig workers the challenges about the social security, about the way forward. UPSC will be asked what is the way forward for address their grievances and redressal. That question will be appear in this format. Trust me, because we have the experience from last 5 to 6 years, as well as we guide the many years, right? Through the GS mentorship as well as an optional mentorship. So in this brainstorming, we must do the introduction. Suppose this question asks for the 150 words to your introduction within the 30 keywords. So how to task the introductions? The biggest question is that how to start with the introduction. The major is that theme is that at least you can write the 7 forms of irony based introduction. You can write example based, current affair based example. You can write definition based example. Introduction. You can write that keyword based introduction. You can write data statistic based or any committee based report introduction. You will start with the NCRB report. You will start labor survey report data through that your introduction. That gives the sense, right? That fulfill the demands. So first parameter is that introduction, and you did very carefully according to demand of question. That next topic is that linking para. Again I said, why linking para? Because without informal worker statistics, you cannot write this question. Trust me, because the examiner wants to know from you what is actual data, what is actual statistics related to the gig workers, their establishment. Then your answer will be proceeded. Without data, without any fact, without any figures, you not provided, that your answer look like just a normal answer, not like a topper answer. That's why the topper adopt this strategy to draw the diagram or to supplement the data or supplement the fact figure in the linking para. That connection oriented answer will look like. Okay, in this linking para, we can add that labor force survey data. Okay, that is the informal worker data. Or you can visit the PIB where you find the informal workers data. Even you can do the through that ministry report, labor or heavy ministry reports where the informal labor data. Okay, you can add here. Then next point is that in the body part is the gig worker challenges. Okay, in the challenges you should again create the dimension. Just writing the challenges and putting the 3-4 points is the ordinary answer. As per my opinion, when you write the challenges, you must be again unfold these challenges in the short-term challenges, short-term challenges and long-term challenges. That will be create the more visibility on your answer, because examiner also want what are the short-term challenges, long-term challenges, because they look inside you, because you are going to be an IAS officer. At least you know the surface or basic understanding. Yes, there is the challenges for the informal or gig workers, the short-term challenges and long-term challenges. What is the short-term challenges? Transportations. Okay, actually they need the transportations and that environment, some protections like that, raincoat during the rainy season. In the summer time, they're looking for the water bottles from their organization. That is short term. But what the long term need, actually they need, what the long term challenges is that, long term challenges is that actually that social security, not for their grievances and their redressal not challenges on the time frame manner. That is the long term charges. Infrastructure and proper establishment for their grievances is missing. There is no committee to address their grievances, right? So this is long term challenges. After finishing challenges, we must go through the solutions. You want that not mentioned in your question, but at least you mention 3 to 4 solution with the diagrammatic format. Diagrammatic format. This needed. Even you give that solution like in a simple diagram, like a hexagonal, or maybe in a triangle form, maybe in a circle form. Draw like that. What is the first solution? Is that the committee for addressing their redressal and grievances. Okay, that social security on the line of other foreign countries in Australia, Norway, they also provide the social securities for that gig workers. India also established the mechanism to address their challenges and grievances through social security. Then another solution is that the wages issue. Actually, biggest wages issue at the standard limit set by the various committees about the wages. Okay, that must be provided them. That is the solution. Then after finishing challenges, 4 solutions, then moving towards that way forward. What is the difference between the solution and way forward? Many people having doubt that कि सर you said कि way forward भी दिखना है, solution भी लिखना है, टाइम नहीं है. देखो आप लोगों ने बेटा 4 पॉइंट में solution लिख दिए हैं. that hidden demand है. एग्जामिनर को चाहिए, ब्यूरोक्रेट बनने वाले हो तो इज लुकिंग टूवर्ड्स यू कि भाई सॉल्यूशन बता, जरूरी है. बट वे फॉरवर्ड क्या होता है? वे फॉरवर्ड एक मतलब एक इनोवेटिव आइडिया होती है. जनरली एक इनोवेशन आता है एक ब्यूरोक्रेट की तरफ से कि गिग वर्कर के लिए मुझे ये जो गवर्नमेंट के इनिशिएटिव्स है या मैकेनिज्म है उसके बियॉन्ड on the personal capacity, what I think, what the changes should be come through my own ideas, that is gig worker looking for, right? In the way forward idea, you can write the registration of gig worker must be through government authority. Yes, if you will going to be the DM and IS officer tomorrow, that gig worker registration must be through the administrative form, because they will create the sense of their security, because they will trust on administration. At least our registration is formed through that the administrative line or administrative form, that will create the satisfaction and they more trustworthy towards government. If in the case future whatever the happening, at least administration will take our challenges or address our challenges, right? So this is innovative idea. Second innovative idea is that the pressure group generally India forms on various issues, and environment, social, political and economical pressures group are established. Why not that kind of the group or kind of the labor union form for the gig worker? Why not India gives them two rights, form their union or form their own organization? At least they come forward with their doubts, come forward with their grievances and deal with properly government administration, and they do the deliberation and discussion and debate with the proper channel, proper mechanism. That is the need of hour. That is the innovations. No one talked about this, but that is innovation. And that look examiner, because the examiner will be impressed here, because this is not in your answer, somewhere you're locking. And trust me, this will be come through the daily basis practice and brainstorming. We'll daily provide you the assignments about the brainstorming. We daily provide you the those questions on contemporary basis, as well as the static, interlinking the brainstorming with the contemporary issues and static issues. Okay, another thing is that as we go ahead, we also provide some introduction compilation some challenges compilation on a various theme, also provide on the daily or Sunday basis on a themes. And I will teach you how to unfold that contemporary scenarios with linking the static, and that will be decides your victory. राइट, दैट इज माई पर्सनल गारंटी। इसलिए मैं कह रहा हूं कि ब्रेनस्टॉर्म कितना इंपॉर्टेंट है, ब्रेनस्टॉर्म क्यों करना चाहिए, दैट इज टाइम टू थिंक ऑन दिस इश्यूज, राइट, दैट विल क्रिएट एक सिस्टमैटिक प्रिपरेशन, अ सिस्टमैटिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग, अ स्ट्रक्चरल फ्लो थ्रू द ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग एंड PYQ analysis simultaneously create the satisfaction in you why that brainstorming and answer writing is important, right? सो फिर से मैं इस बात पे एम्फेसिस कर रहा हूं कि विदाउट ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग you will not survive this examination, because brainstorming gives the sense what actually this exam needed, what actually exam demanded, what your perspective should be developed. If you read the newspaper articles and then see, brainstorm on that article. if environment का कोई article आता है, sociology पे आता है, society पे आता है, economy पे आता है, तो उस point को लो, उस पे brainstorm करो, चीजों को समझो, चीजों को analysis करो। वही डिमांड 2026 के प्रीलिम्स में था कि आपने कितना ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग किया हुआ है, चीजों को कितना एनालिटिकल एंड एप्टीट्यूड वे से समझा है, आपकी डिसीजन मेकिंग उस 2 घंटे में एग्जाम हॉल में कितनी स्ट्रांग है। जब ये होगी तभी आप प्रीलिम्स एज वेल एज मेंस के क्वेश्चन एड्रेस कर पाएंगे। अदरवाइज आपका एक सरफेस नॉलेज रहेगा, एक खुद को सेटिस्फाई करा हुआ प्रिपरेशन रहेगा, एंड दैट्स नॉट नीडेड दैट यूपीएससी को डीप एनालिटिकल थिंकिंग चाहिए, और एनालिटिकल थिंकिंग विल बी कम थ्रू सच ब्रेनस्टॉर्म्स एंड सच अ स्ट्रक्चरल थिंकिंग। दैट इज द अगेन रिवॉल्यूशन पे पूछा जाए तो उसका ब्रेनस्टॉर्म हमने यहाँ पे करके रखा है, और डेली बेसिस आपको दिया जाएगा। ऐसे नहीं कि ये सैंपल्स है, ये ओरिएंटेशन सेशन है, और ओरिएंटेशन सेशन में हम आपको खाली सैंपल से इंट्रोड्यूस करा रहे हैं। तो थ्रू दिस प्रोग्राम वी विल प्रोवाइड यू सच अ ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग 1 पेजर नोट्स। ये ब्रेनस्टॉर्म तुम्हें तुम्हारे आंसर को एक स्ट्रक्चर देता है, और विदाउट स्ट्रक्चर योर आंसर इज नॉट लाइक आंसर। Without structure, your answer look like a flowing the general ideas and general points, और उसे मार्क्स नहीं मिलते, राइट। फिर अगला, यहां तक ये शायद तो मैं इस सेशन को यहां पे कंक्लूड कर रहा हूं। एज कॉपी चेकिंग है, मॉडरेशन से, वो मैं मेरे साइड से एज अ पर्सनल मेंटर, एज योर बिग ब्रदर मैं गाइड करूंगा। ट्रस्ट मी, यू मस्ट ज्वाइन दिस इनिशिएटिव, सी आवर हार्ड वर्क, एंड it will be definitely helpful for you to accomplish your goal, because 2 बर्गर के प्राइस में ये इनिशिएटिव ज्वाइन करना, कुछ स्किल सीख लेना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। पीछे रह जाओगे, लाखों रुपया खर्च करके ये चीज नहीं मिलेगा, एक मेंटर का पर्सनल टच नहीं मिलेगा। उस टच के लिए तुम्हें एक सीनियर ब्रदर की तरह हमारी तरफ देखना पड़ेगा कि हाँ, दे गाइड मी, दे नेविगेट मी विद दैट माय पॉइंट्स, माय प्रॉब्लम्स, माय चैलेंजेस, राइट। सेकंड थिंग इज दैट कि यहाँ पे ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग होगा, PYQ आंसर राइटिंग होगी, मॉडल आंसर्स दिए जाएंगे, धीरे धीरे हम एनसीईआरटी फाउंडेशन लाएंगे, स्टैटिक प्लस कॉन्टेम्परेरी रिलेवेंस बताएंगे, न्यूज़पेपर कैसे रीड करना है, उससे थीम्स कैसे डिकोड करनी है, कौन सी थीम्स यूपीएससी की प्रोमिनेंट है, रिपीटेड है, कौन सी थीम पूछी जाती है, दैट शुड बी टीचेस यू ऑन अ प्रॉपर डेली बेसिस। प्रॉपर डेली बेसिस वी विल गाइड यू, दैट इज डिमांड ऑफ दिस इनिशिएटिव, राइट। एंड सेकंड थिंग इज दैट admissions of this initiative started from tomorrow onwards। कल से एडमिशन रजिस्ट्रेशन शुरू होगी, लिमिटेड एंट्रीज है, हम ज्यादा बेड नहीं लेंगे, 30 एंट्रीज रखे हैं, पर्सनल मेंटरशिप गाइडेंस है, जितना हो सके अर्ली पॉसिबल रजिस्ट्रेशन कराओ। वंस द सीट फुल्स वी विल नॉट एंटरटेन एनी वंस एंट्री। थैंक यू सो मच।